voice, oh, please, no, anything but that, not Coyle. So, I mean, but that's the kind of thing. What is the objective in saying, I can get young Coyle to come to the house, you know? Well, in that case, in the actual scene, it had something to do with shaming the son. You know, proving that he was an idiot and needed a tutor. So, but it's that going into the line and finding out, well, what the hell, what's going on here? You know, what do they want? Why can't they have it? And what are they doing to get it? And it turns out, you know, I was a Yale English major and a Tulane, I got a master's in theater. And I never really understood dramatic action until I got to this point. I always thought dramatic action, you know, crossing down stage left and sticking your finger in somebody's eye. That's dramatic action, boy. But dramatic action is what you do to get what you want when you can't have it. So it's whether it's threatening with young Coyle, I can get young Coyle to come to the house, you know, or you gotta say, oh, hey, I can get young Coyle to come to the house, you know. And Coyle, you can create as this character who's really handsome and sexy, and everybody's, oh, great, Coyle's coming, oh, neato. But again, you don't know that from the dialogue, and you've got to build this thing into something meaning. So it's just a way of going back into our own work and saying, well, what am I going to do? You know, I know this isn't working. My director tells me it's not working. Or the guy who's putting up the money is telling me it's not working. It's just another way to look at it. There are all kinds of gimmicks. I mean, I had a friend who wrote, who's another Yale drama school graduate, Mylan Stitt, who wrote The Runner Stumbles. And he said, Victor, when you're stuck, change the weather. I said, what? He said, make it rain. He said, it may not save the play, but it'll give you a different way in. If suddenly now everybody's got to come in raincoats with umbrellas and things, and they go, oh, God, it's all, or, you know, if it's snowy or whatever. I mean, that is really working from the outside in, and that may not turn you on, but at least it may get you off the dime. I know what it's like to be stuck on the dime, and you live there. I mean, you know what it's like to have these scenes. Just I know what I want to say, but it's just not working. I don't know how to make it work. So that's kind of the overview. But I just love this idea. Now let me try, now that you've sort of had a little about this. We have all of these. I'm gonna split them up again and hand them out to some. Pardon me. Excuse me. Everybody loves Texas Hold'em, right? Oh, great. All right. Take a look at what you got. Again, there's no way to make this wrong. And you're just looking for, if I get no concept across, because I still am learning. I mean, I know what this is like. You're looking for that thing that the actor has to look for when you've written something for her or him is, why am I saying this? Give me a reason to say this thing, and I'll give it to you perfectly. But please, you know, that's what you're begging for when you're working with each other on this particular exercise. Everybody in a play or a scene or whatever needs to have this. And it's your job to make that have to work. So that can stop a rehearsal dead. And you all know those people who say, we would rather discuss what's my motivation than rehearse. I've worked with them before too. It's another passive aggressive thing. We don't want to. Yeah. Well, not to get to the heart of things, the fact that I have absolutely no talent whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not going to let you find out, because we're not going to get to opening night at this rate. I got this working for me. All right, Curtin.
Oh Christ, does he know?
He's looking great.
How is he?
He plays all day long as if he were afraid to stop.
Well, thank you, Frank.
I've got stuff sitting that you should check every week, Terry.
We don't need it, honestly. Whoops.
You're allowed to talk over each other.
We don't need it, honestly. The brother is? Quiet, please, the brother is going to make a speech.
No, speech, silent speech.
Very brave about it.
Don't spare it, loads more than that, Amber.
Oh, thanks, Frank.
He's looking great.
Oh Christ, does he know?
He plays all day long as if he were afraid to stop.
Gotta stop spinning that huge check every week.
The brother is.
Oh Christ, does he know?
It's only.
Is there anything?
How was the checkup last week?
He's looking great.
He plays all day long as if he were afraid to stop.
Shouldn't you go easy on that one?
Yes.
I know, Angela, so.
On the way.
We don't need it, honestly.
Spending that huge check every week, Terry.
He's looking great.
How is he?
He's looking great.
He plays all day long as if he were afraid to stop.
Thank you, Frank.
Gotta stop spinning that huge check every week.
The brother is?
Oh Christ, does he know?
We don't need it, honestly.
I'll have some more champagne for you.
I wonder where that went.
There's the champagne.
He's looking great.
On the way.
What we began to hear, because the more knowledge came in, they had some advance warning about some of these lines. But we started to hear motivation. It came out that you were starting to use the lines for something other than just, oh God, I gotta say this thing. But
They were kind of fit in.
there's some frustration going on, even if it's only actor frustration, I gotta stop. Say, check it. There's a wonderful play, what is it, Paul Osborne? Anyway, it's Mornings at 7. And there's a character in it, and you reminded me of him, because there's a character in it, this crazy uncle who wanders in and around, and whenever he's left alone, and they have to watch him, because if he goes off, what happens in Indiana or something, it's this crazy family in their backyard. And there's this uncle who keeps going to the tree or to there's a laundry post out there that has the laundry cord running off it, and he keeps going up to it and putting his head on, leaning against it, saying, I've got to go back to the fork. I've made a wrong turn. My life is a mess, and it's a wonderful bit, and you just keep waiting for it to come back in the play again, and it's exactly like that. I got to stop sending this check, whatever it is. Because he's gone off again. And so now you start building that character, saying something, just a nonsensical line. I got to go back to the fork. I've made a wrong choice, and that's his whole through line. Is this crazy uncle, and they all have to deal with him. He kind of serves as a punctuation mark to the play, but. As I said in the description that I gave for the entry here, for the actor, everything is happening between the lines you wrote. And we forget that. Because, God, I think everybody in this room probably came out of her mother's womb talking or thinking in words. Just about. I mean, if you're a writer, you've been so thinking about words, and words are important, and how words work, and you listen to everything. And if your wife or significant other or whoever it is reads your play and doesn't go, boy, that's the best thing you've ever written, and only says that's the best thing you've ever written, somehow your life now is going to be hell. My poor wife of 47 years could stand here and give you an hour on the pains of being married to one of you. It's just awful. And I put her through this for years. I'd show her the things I wrote, and she'd read them, and I'd watch over her shoulder, and I'd say, why aren't you laughing? I see where your eyes are, and there's a funny line here, and you're already down here. Why aren't you laughing? And she said, well, I was laughing inside. She got very good at lying to cover, but it's just awful. But it's this constant thing about words, that words are what we're dealing with. And that's why it takes a Marty Kushner director to